Harry Styles is the love of my life. He's my favorite person on this planet. And welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be doing something very different but still book related in a way. We're combining some of my favorite things today, Harry Styles and books. So today I'm actually going to be recommending Harry Styles fan fictions on Wattpad. I know, but there are some good ones out there, okay? There are so many good ones. It's not like how it was back in like 2015 or 2014 or even further than that when like the One Direction Harry Styles fan fictions were there and they weren't well written and they weren't like that good, and you know, YN was the main character. If you don't know what YN means, Y/N, it means your name. So these ones are actually really well written, really good. They literally could be published books. That's how good the writing is. And if you didn't know, Harry Styles is the love of my life. He's my favorite person on this planet, and I have been a fan of Harry Styles, One Direction, since I was literally like 11 years old, 10, 11 years old. So I've been a fan since like 2012 and been here since the One Direction days. I'm upset about it. Let's not talk about it. They're still on hiatus technically, you know, 18 months turned 6 years. I'm fine. And yeah, so I thought in honor of, you know, Love on Tour going at the moment, I watch the show every time it's like on. People do lives and literally the highlight of my week. He looks so good. Can we just like talk about that for a second? I thought I'd recommend you guys some Harry Styles fan fictions. I have 5 to recommend today. I haven't read all that many compared to a lot of people out there, but I have 5 of my faves to recommend to you today, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's just get into it. So the first fanfiction that I'm going to be recommending to you today is Duplicity. I'm gonna have the authors' names written on the screen as well as like the picture of the cover, because sometimes it's really hard to find the books on Wattpad. So yeah, I'm gonna write the author, and if you just search that up you should be able to find it. So the first fic is Duplicity, and if you guys have been around for a while you know that I'm obsessed with Duplicity. It's the first fic that I ever read and it is amazing, and it's kind of hard to explain what this one's about because it's about so much more than the description that I can give you. There's so many plot twists, so many crazy twists and turns and things that happen in this book that are just crazy, and this one is actually still ongoing. It's not finished yet, but it's going to be finishing soon, and hopefully there's a sequel because I feel like we can't wrap it up in the last 3 chapters. And yeah, there was an update today actually when I'm filming this video. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So this is about Harry, of course, and Avon, and basically Avon is this girl who wants to be a photographer, but she doesn't have enough like experience in for her folio and like taken in like real world experience for her folio to get into the college that she wants to go to. And so her college advisor, or the person that set up the interview or whatever, is like, hey, I can get you this job touring with this band to take photos for them, and that should get you enough experience to be able to get into this college. Like, I'm friends with the guy who runs it, whatever, I can set this up for you. And Avon's like, yes, okay, that'd be awesome. She goes to this interview and she finds out that the band that she's touring for is actually Duplicity. So Duplicity is a band, they're very, very famous. It consists of Niall, Harry, who is the lead singer, Niall, Louis, and then Liam, who's the drummer. Niall and Louis are the guitar players, and they're a famous band that she actually saw 2 years prior to when she's trying to get into this college, and she went backstage because Harry wanted her to, and some things happened, and she was like, yeah, and like he kind of freaked her out and she didn't want to do anything, and he was like, okay, well, get out then. And then this guy tried to assault her, and so yes, she didn't really want to go on tour with this band who she had a really bad experience with, and so she originally declines the offer, but then after some thinking she decides, you know what the heck, I need this experience, I want to go to college, so let's just do it. So she goes on tour with this band, and you know, things are gonna happen. They're not just an ordinary band, it's literally in the synopsis, their band is a cover-up for the mafia. So they're all associates of the mafia, and basically they use their band as a cover-up to traffic drugs across the country. And so they have like 6 big tour buses. One of them is, you know, for the band and the equipment and stuff, and the rest of them are all filled with drugs. And so they tour the band with the band, and you know, she accidentally finds out about this when she walks in on Harry and the band beating up this guy, and then Harry sees her and basically goes after her, and they absolutely despise each other at the start. Harry is awful to her. He's so mean. He literally wants to kill her. It's like crazy. But bear with him, he gets so sweet. You know, eventually they do end up connecting and they form this relationship. Harry has so much trauma behind like him. His past is crazy, his family is insane, and it's just crazy. And Avon doesn't have the best past either. Her mom abandoned her when she was younger, and it's just like this whole thing, and they connect over that, two broken people, you know, finding each other. And this book is just so good, and if you haven't read it, like, what are you doing? If you love Harry Styles and you haven't read this book, like, go read it right now. It's so good. It breaks my heart at some points. I literally bawled my eyes out for a solid like 10 chapters. It's fine, but it's so good. And if you're wondering why I ever have my nails painted black and yellow, that is because of Duplicity. It's a little thing in the book. If you get to it, you know why. It's amazing. So the next fanfic that I'm going to be recommending is Stall 1 and 2. So Stall is a 2-part book, and they're both finished, but there is still epilogues coming out for the second book. Stall is probably, I want to say, my fave fic. Stall Harry is everything to me, and Jimmy and Steve, who are two side characters that are Harry's best friends. Jimmy has my heart. He is my comfort character. I love him so much, and this book is just so special to me, and it's just amazing. Like, Stall Harry is everything, and the poor boy has been through so much. He just needs a hug, and he loves butterflies. Like, I love that. He's obsessed with butterflies, and it's the cutest thing ever. So originally when I read Stall, I didn't actually like it that much. Like, I read probably, because the first maybe like 15 chapters are quite short, and then they do start to get longer. And so I read them, and I had just finished Duplicity at that point, like just caught up. And I didn't like Stall because I was looking for something like Duplicity with Duplicity Harry, like, and I knew nothing was going to be exactly the same, but I wanted something similar. And so when I read Stall and Duplicity, like, the Harry in there was nothing like Duplicity Harry at the start. He was not super mean or anything, and I was just like, I didn't like it for that reason. But then I pushed through, I kept reading. Like, it's not bad, it's really good. Like, and I just fell in love with Stall Harry and then Jimmy, and it's just so good. And every single character in this book is amazing except the bad people, but all like the main characters, like on the good side, are phenomenal. So basically this is about Abby and Harry, and Abby is this very, at the start, she's this very shy, quirky, awkward girl, and she's literally hilarious. Like, I love her so much. She's so funny. Like, the jokes she's cracking are hilarious. Like, she is so funny, and she's one of the best main characters and the most unproblematic main character that I think I've ever read in a book. But I love her so much. And basically her best friend Sophie is very outgoing, loud, and kind of not drags her along, but convinces her to go and do all these fun things, go to clubs, go to parties, and just like be a bit more fun and come out of her shell. And so she drags her to this club, Placebo, and introduces her to Harry, and it's a very awkward, funny meeting because you're in Abby's point of view, you're in Abby's head, and she's like, oh my god, someone kill me right now, like I can't do this, and I'm like, oh my god, I'd be the exact same in that situation. You're meeting this amazingly hot guy. I would literally be so awkward and would not know what to do because I'm such a shy person. And so they meet and they go into the bathroom stall, hence Stall, and you know, some things happen, and I'm pretty sure they go back to his place and it's like a one-night stand type of situation. And there is this scene, I don't want to tell you guys what it is, but it's literally the funniest thing ever, and I died. And I can't believe that she did that. I was like, oh my god, Abby, no, you didn't. And if you read it, you know what I'm talking about. And then basically you fast forward 3 years later and then meet again. Harry has not stopped thinking about this girl. He's like, oh my god, like I need to see her again. But by the time that they meet again, Abby actually has a boyfriend. He's a dick. I despise his existence. He's awful. His name's Andy. Ugh. and I hate him so much. And so they can't be together, nothing can happen, but he's like, hey, can you come take photos at this club, like it's a job, blah blah blah, 'cause she loves photography. And so she goes and does that. They meet again, and you know, they become friends, and then, you know, eventually she breaks up with her boyfriend and they get together, and it's super cute and I love it so much. And Jimmy, it's everything. And if you haven't read Still, What Are You Doing? Still 1 and 2, stunning, stunning, stunning. There's some crazy shit that happens. Harry's whole past is insane, and oh my god. So the next book that I'm going to be recommending is Darling. Now this one is not a really well-known one. I followed one of the TikTokers that talks about duplicity, and then she started writing her own book, and she's like a pretty small on Wattpad, but this book is really good, and it's like, it's not dark. This is the only one in the books that I'm going to be recommending that isn't super dark. So this is just a regular college romance. It's enemies to lovers. It's super fun. So this is about Harry and Darlene, and basically Harry and Darlene work together, and it's like a summer set type of thing. They work together, they're lifeguards at this pool, and they despise each other. And so they're literally arguing all the time. They don't like each other at all, and then but they're very attracted to each other, but they don't want to admit it to themselves. And then one day she actually decides that she's gonna go in to the shower at the gym with him. They're closing together and Harry's showering, and she literally just walks in, and you know, some stuff happens, and then they kind of decide to make this type of friends with benefits type of situation, and they become really, really good friends. And then slowly they realize that they do have feelings for each other, and you know, that hate turns into love, and it's so good. And the friendship group dynamic between Harry, Darlene, and then these other characters, Niall and Maya, is amazing. Like, I love it so much. And this book is just so good. Like, it's just like something light, something fun, and it's so well written, and it's just amazing. And if you're looking for a fic that you probably haven't heard of, and that's really, really good, I definitely recommend this one. The next fic that I'm going to be recommending is Devil's Due. This one I read recently, and oh my goodness, I did not think I was going to love it as much as I did, but it's so good. Devil's Due Harry. He has a special place in my heart. I love him so much. He is so sweet, and I'm just obsessed with him, and he speaks Italian, and it's just everything. Like, the stuff that he says to River in Italian melts my freaking heart. Like, I love it. So basically this one is about River and Harry, and River has this really big group of friends, and they're all going to get tattoos at this tattoo parlor. And originally River isn't gonna get a tattoo. She's like, no, like I don't want to do it, like I don't want to get it. But then she gets convinced to do it, and guess who works at the tattoo parlor? Mr. Harry Styles. So he is actually a very grumpy, very mean tattoo artist, and he's like, fine, like I'll do your tattoo as long as you're sure you want to get this tattoo, like I don't want you to regret it, blah 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 blah. And so he's really mean to her at first, and then he does her tattoo, and they never think they're gonna see each other again. She leaves, and then basically he doesn't let her pay for the tattoo or something like that, I think. And so she wants to pay him, she wants to thank him, and so she goes back to the tattoo parlor, but she sees something that she's not meant to see. Harry is around the corner, like beating up these people or something, and he sees her and he's like, shit. And so basically he's like, hey, like, don't hurt this girl, she's my girlfriend. So it's fake dating trope, enemies to lovers, super fun. And you can guess that the tattoo parlor is a cover-up for something else. Not mafia related, I don't think. I'm pretty sure they just sell drugs out of the tattoo parlor, but it's like for this like gang type of thing, but I don't think it's mafia from memory. But they end up fake dating, and she has to go to all these like events. There is this whole I don't know if it's a spoiler, but there's this whole other thing that's going on as well, that like the guy that runs this runs all the drug stuff is doing on the side. That happens, which is awful, and I hate it, but yeah. And then yeah, slowly, you know, River and Harry start to form connections and fall for each other, and it's so good. I love this book so much. Like, when I tell you Devil's Due Harry is everything, I mean, like, he's everything. I love him. I'm filming this clip on my phone because my laptop webcam's not working, but I quickly just want to come in here and mention another fic that I just started reading. It's called Spotlight. It's by Kiwi Harry, I believe, and it's so freaking good. It's enemies to lovers, like I mean ultimate enemies to lovers slow burn. Like not slow burn between like the physical stuff, but slow burn between like the enemy stuff. Like they hate each other, but they have this like enemies with benefits relationship, and basically they're actors and they're acting together, they're in love on screen, but they hate each other behind the scenes, and then they have to start this PR relationship to promote the movie because that's what the producer of the movie wants them to do or something. And so they start this PR relationship, they have to act like they're dating and go on all these PR dates and things like that, and eventually they end up sleeping together. They form this enemies with benefits relationship, and they start opening up to each other and sharing all their past traumas. They've both been through so much, and it's crazy. Like both Harry and Aubrey have been through so much, but eventually slowly it does turn into love, and you will hate Harry at first. You will hate him so much. He's awful. I hated him and I wanted to stop reading, but don't. Push through because he gets so sweet with her and so soft, and I'm obsessed with him, and you guys will love it. And if you haven't read this one already, you need to. It's phenomenal. I'm like over halfway through, and it's just so good so far, and I'm obsessed. So the last fic that I'm going to be recommending is Absolution. Now this one I actually haven't finished. This one is complete, and it's the only one that's like completely complete in this video. And yeah, I haven't finished this one yet. I'm like 2 chapters away from finishing it, but it's so good. And this one actually has a plus size heroine, which we love. So this is about Zara and Harry. And Zara basically it's also set in college, but it does deal with a lot of darker stuff. But basically Harry and Zara, they go to college together, but Harry is a very like dodgy character. He's into some shady stuff. He does underground like fighting, and he's known as Bloodletter. And so Zara wants to know more about him and learn more about all this stuff, and she is a writer for the paper at their school, and so she wants to write an article on him, and so she wants to get close to him and interview him and find out all this information to write this article. And so that's her intention going into this kind of friendship type of thing that she forms with Harry. But soon when she gets to know him and finds out all this stuff about him, she doesn't want to write the article anymore. She doesn't want to talk about him and expose all of this stuff that shouldn't be exposed, and like he's told to her in like confidentiality. And so yeah, things happen, they start to fall for each other. Will she drop the article? Will she not? I don't know. Will things blow up? A lot of crazy shit happens. The guy that runs this like underground fight club thing literally sucks. I hate him so much. I don't remember his name, but he sucks. And there's this whole other thing going on, and there's some crazy shit, and then something else happens that broke my heart and I can't deal with it, and I was bawling my eyes out and I'm not okay. But this book is so good. Harry from Absolution is such a sweetie. Like, I love him so much. This one has some crazy stuff that happens, and yeah, so that is the last book I'm going to be recommending you guys today. All these books that I'm recommending have amazing spicy scenes. Like the smut in these books are crazy, especially in Absolution. There is some crazy stuff that happens in there that I was not expecting. I mean, Store has some crazy stuff too. They all do, but especially Absolution. That one has some crazy stuff, but it's so good. So that is all the fics that I'm going to be recommending to you today. I hope you guys enjoyed this different video. I don't recommend Wattpad books very often because I don't read a ton of them. I read a lot back in the day, back in high school when I used to read heaps of Wattpad, but yeah, I've recently gotten into Harry Styles fan fictions because I'm a massive Harry stan. And yeah, if you guys haven't read any of these fics and you're Harry fans, what are you doing? Go read them, they're phenomenal. And yeah, if you guys want to see more of these different type of videos, I can definitely do that for you guys. Or if you want to see more Harry content, I can definitely do that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.